and welcome to your outdoors and Western lifestyle news show, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, aka Beck. And as always, you know we love hearing from all of you, your comments, your stories, your ideas. Call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Right alongside, as always, is my co-host and producer, Jeff Tigger Earhart. And I'm going to start it out with, we survived the deep freeze. Where we were at, we ended up with some record cold temps earlier in the week. This last week, we're talking about the week of February 17th, where up here in the Dakotas, we actually had actual temperatures that said negative 40 below. We're not talking wind chills. That was the actual temperature.
I think it hit 47 below.
All right. I don't remember which town that was.
Areas, but yeah, it was stupid cold.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Shattered some records out there. So now that we have survived that, it's been crazy because we went from such sub-zero temperatures back on the 19th to now, several days later, 60-degree swing.
100-degree swing that we're going to have here in the next 24 hours or something like that.
That's insane. And now it makes me think about, how do we not get sick when that happens? I just can't help but just realize what's going to happen going from one extreme to the other.
This has kind of been a year for weather catastrophes.
Anomalies.
With people facing floods, and I know a lot of people in our area are looking at that too, of now all of a sudden, is it going to get way too warm, way too quick? Is there going to be flooding that will occur? I would imagine in some areas, just like West Virginia, where they're fighting floods as we speak.
Oh, I agree. And this is, actually, I'm kind of glad you brought that up. I didn't plan to go down this road, but now it just reminded me too that other areas have actually received a lot of snow, say where you go skiing or snowmobiling, Colorado, Wyoming. And what we're getting at is before you head out the door or make your final travel plans, if you're heading to those ski resorts specifically, there's been some avalanches in the recent time here, that you check out the weather of what you're going into, or just be prepared to wear lots of layers.
But now, if we were stranded at a ski resort, that would be all right.
Oh, I know.
It would never be our luck, though, that we would get stranded in a really cool place like that.
Why is it where we get stranded,
where it's warm,
is at home, and then we have everything looking at us that either wants to be fed, or you're going to have to go start something you don't want to, and you're hoping it doesn't break.
Dumb.
Someday we'll move somewhere warmer, Tigger. I'm telling you.
Number one, diesel fuel. That's all we're saying. Number one.
For those of you that live further south and you don't ever even have to worry about four-wheel drive or diesel, that's the thing that's been surprising, though. They've had temperatures all the way down to San Antonio, Texas.
There's been record-breaking cold temperatures in the south,
that's
too.
What I'm getting
we've
at.
talked to a lot of friends in Texas and South Texas that said, we can't handle this. We don't have the infrastructure for it.
All right, but this here I'm going to bring up for you.
Let's talk about something else. This is depressing.
Well, it deals kind of with the weather, but now I'm bringing it back indoors because this crossed my desk, and apparently some heating engineers put their minds to it since so many of us are stuck inside, and they figured out what they figure is the ideal temperature, the thermostat to be set at in your house for comfort. We're not talking to save money. We're talking for comfort. And how many of you can relate to this, that either he or she in the house is constantly touching that thermostat, right?
So what do they say is the optimal temperature? 68.
70 degrees or
70.
just a tick under 70 at 69, all right? They say that, of course, women, elderly, those that are well underweight, they may want it even warmer than that, but according to research, they say the most optimal office temperature, which can improve productivity, comes in right around that 70 degrees or just a tick under. So now
I like
you know.
it a little on the cooler side because I like to put a jacket on and be warm or sweatshirt or something like that.
I'm going to call you out on this, all right?
Why?
Tigger likes it a little chillier here in our home, which is also our office, but it looks like he's heading out the door at any moment. He's sitting here in his office with his puffy jacket on as we speak.
And am I complaining about what the temperature is inside? Not at all. I'm layering up. I had to do that when it was 47 degrees below zero. I wasn't complaining at all.
That's fine. That was outside. That wasn't in the cabin. I'm just saying. Since the beginning of the year, Tigger and I have been on the road actually quite a bit. Back in January, we were able to head to Denver and take in the National Western Stock Show. And then here just the other week, we were in San Antonio, Texas, when the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo kicked off, where we took in the rodeo as well. I'm bringing this up because what it brings back to me when I think about showing, I think about these big events, it reminds me that it's always important to keep FFA and 4-H at the forefront of our thoughts. And I'm bringing this up now because in just a few months, some of you may be deciding, should I enroll my kids this summer into 4-H?
Yes.
Should I think about this next summer, fall, getting them into FFA?
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I absolutely 100% am with Tigger. I was not in FFA because our school wasn't big enough to offer it. However, I was in 4-H. And looking back, Tigger and I, for those of you that don't know, that's a lot of times our give back is, especially around these youth organizations and getting them involved in agriculture. But I just thought I'd bring it up because sometimes people forget and they look at the youngest generation coming up and you're going, what can I do to improve or instill some of those values that we had growing up? And these two organizations, to me, I don't know about you, Tigger, but they keep coming to the forefront.
Some of the best memories that I have is of 4-H. I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Very nicely put.
Sorry, I had to cough there. And don't ask me to recite the FFA creed. I can't do that. I was what was I, the Sentinel? No, I was the vice president.
And you don't think you can remember that one?
I can remember, let's see, why is the president so stationed by the plow? The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of our soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish.
Okay, we're going to
I don't remember all that. That's been the sunny slopes long ago. But yes, some of my greatest memories and some of the best friends that I have today is because of 4-H and FFA. And I guarantee you that a lot of people listening, it's the same.
You know, I agree too, because a lot of times I run into folks, and now, I mean, Tigger and I haven't been in school in not just years, decades, okay? But it's amazing how many people I will come across and they'll say, gosh, I know you from somewhere. And then immediately I usually start listing off, was it 4-H? Was it summer camp? Was it, see what I'm saying? You're networking. And I think it's really important for these youth growing up to be doing the same thing, not realizing they're networking, but starting at a young age and getting them off their phones all the time.
And 4-H and FFA has really changed in the last few years because it's not about cows and sows that people think of. I mean, they have really expanded so much of projects. It kind of amazes me. In fact, it's quadrupled in the amount of specialties, areas of interest maybe is the best way to describe it in both 4-H and FFA. And I want to share this story in my hometown where I grew up. I don't know how that Mr. Faring did this, the FFA advisor and the vocational agriculture instructor, if they still call it VOAG. But FFA has turned into the cool thing for the kids to do. In a small community that I grew up in, that they have more kids going out for FFA than they do for football, for wrestling, for basketball. And I'm from a school that was known for all those sports. It's cool to be an FFA. In fact, the majority of the kids are town kids that are in FFA. How neat is that?
That right there was what I was going to hit on, because I've been looking across the statistics on many different states and looking at rural communities, and not just rural, but also urban communities. 4-H FFA has gone through the roof with enrollment and those signing up, because you're absolutely right. It's no longer a farm and ranch kid anymore. They're actually seeking out these, they want to call them experiences that you can learn from.
Special interest, maybe. I don't know exactly how to describe that.
But think about this. Here's my last little plug, because I feel like we should really be getting our focuses and getting involved. And that is, remember, this is a great way for these youth to learn leadership, communication, resilience.
Oh.
Think about that word.
Oh.
Resilience.
And actually learn how to talk these days.
Yes, professional development. Learn how to prepare for college and careers. then also your character. It builds character in one another.
And you make the best friends of your life.
You
really
do, and you will always have memories. So check out both those organizations if you have a chance or you're considering it. I'm telling you, reach out. If you want more information, we'll hit you up with the right stuff. You can send an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com.
Hey, that was a great little plug for the white and green and blue and gold.
Hey, thank you. All right, let's take a short break, crew. When we come back, we got more of The Ben Show.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Is there that particular pair of boots or that shirt or pair of jeans that you just can't find anywhere else? Check out Medora Boot and Western Wear. Medora Boot and Western Wear is the go-to for boots, jeans, especially jackets, and even those hard-to-find accessories that make perfect gifts. Check out MedoraBoot.com, or better yet, give Kim a call at 701-623-1005 and tell Kim that Tigger and Beck sent you. For the latest in Western and outdoor practical and fashionable wear, there is only one, Medora Boot and Western Wear.
The hunt, the stories, the memories. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Let me capture and preserve that hunt, that story, that memory with a trophy mount to last you a lifetime. Look us up on Facebook at JB's Wildlife Designs to see samples of our taxidermy, and reach out at any time with any and all questions you may have. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Taxidermy is my passion. Let me preserve yours.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and right along shotgun, as always, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, sadly, this here topic, since the first of the year, has kind of been at the forefront in the travel industry, and it is regarding a lot of anxiety around flying.
But rightfully so. It's been kind of wild.
There's been sadly, some very sad crashes. This last week, back on February 17th, Monday the 17th, then there was that flight that landed in Toronto, Canada, and the plane, after landing, flipped over. Thankfully, there were no lost lives in that accident. But I thought it was good to touch on this topic about flying, because not just in the headlines, but I have had a lot of friends and outside people checking in and saying, Beck, how can you still like flying as much as you do with all these accidents? Or it seems like there's more than usual, and now I'm feeling anxious. And that's, first off, I want to say I commend you for actually coming up to me or sending me an email or a text and saying, hey, Beck, I feel anxious. Is there anything I can do? Because you know what? The first thing in overcoming most fears is to be able to admit it out loud that I'm having a problem and reaching out for help. So thank you to those of you that have done so. But just to kind of calm some of those fears right off the bat, I thought I would let you know kind of what the statistics are when you're thinking about being scared of flying. And by the way, you're not alone, because they say that worldwide, 40% of people experience some level of fear or anxiety when it comes to air travel. That's a big percentage.
But I don't know if that's necessarily, say, flying, if it's more of nervousness of going through TSA and the checks and taking your shoes off.
All of those nerves.
Yeah, okay,
yes,
okay.
That encompasses all the nervousness that you might have regarding going about flying.
Because we're pre-checking, and I still get nervous every time because I get randomly scanned every single time where
he's going on his tangent again.
All right, I'll quit with that. I don't know why they pinhole me all the time. Go ahead.
It's not just you, honey.
It's
okay.
Anybody with a cowboy hat on. That goes, honestly, I'm off of this. I'm off of my tangent. All right. We aren't flying here for about another month or so I can prepare.
Well,
Continue.
Here are some of the statistics for those of you that do get nervous and have a little bit of anxiety about flying. Listen to this. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, they report that approximately 45,000 commercial and private flights depart daily in the United States. That means they're carrying around 2.9 million passengers. I said that was per day, okay? The likelihood of dying in a plane crash is extremely rare, with the odds of about, listen to this, 1 in 13.7 million.
Isn't air travel like the safest way to travel
Yes.
when you compare it to just
is.
buzzing up and down the
Because
interstate?
think about this. They compared it to then a car accident where you're 1 in 95 chances of dying in a car accident.
But you know what the rebuttal is from those people that don't like flying? I get it. They say, I would rather be in control.
Well, that's the problem.
Okay,
You might be in
that's fair.
control, but what about the other driver?
person is not. I get it.
There's the issue. If we were all driving down roads that did not involve anybody else on the roads or other critters on the roads or any other circumstances, then I could see the validity of what you just said.
But you know what we do not have on the interstates? TSA. That always makes me get checked all the time. Okay, I just had to throw
Can
that
you
in there.
tell that Tigger has an issue with TSA?
It's every time that we fly. I don't understand this. And I'm pre-check and I have my passport and everything. Okay,
Honey?
continue. Go ahead.
Honey, I have a list that I will not say on air of what you could be doing so that does not happen, okay?
We're going to have to talk about this.
But first thing off, I want to hit off the top is, as I said, hands up, applaud if you have recognized you have an anxiety about this. That is okay, all right? Accept it. That's all right. No problem. Just accept it. But don't let that rule your life, okay? I'm telling you, focus on the positive aspects of flying. You might have a fear of flying, but think past that fear and think of maybe past trips that you have done where it's turned into a memorable moment. And think, if you wouldn't have gotten on that plane, you would not have gotten to experience whatever that great memory is. Another thing to do, this one's high on my list, especially when you are getting close to departing. And I do this with other friends and family.
Have a drink.
No. The week prior, stop watching the related news regarding travel. I'm telling you,
Good
especially
point.
if it is a dramatized, we know that. I know I'm in the news and I'm right here talking about it, but sometimes people make a bigger deal out of it than they should.
Makes sense.
Because it sells,
I agree.
right? So be smart and just kind of limit some of that news so that you're not
Some of
getting
that screen time.
Yes, wound up about it. Other side of it is, yes, calm yourself before a flight. There might be some things to try and do. And if you have really high triggers for flying, try to avoid those on the day. Be thinking about and talking positive, okay? Don't be going and spiraling or watching some movie the night before that involves a plane crash. That would be
Or
something
that you miss
would
your
not
plane or
do. Right.
something like that.
You're
Yeah.
just confirming otherwise the negativity in your
Right.
brain. And some of you are shaking your head, but I'm telling you, I know people personally that do all of these no-nos. And I don't know why. And I try to help them, but I'm trying to help you now too. The other side of it is if you do recognize that you do have quite a bit of anxiety, it is okay to seek out your healthcare professional and maybe get a little medication for it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, with all of your flying that you have done, and you have done a lot, have you ever had to take Dramamine? That you've got a little motion sickness? Because I know that adds to the fear that people don't want to get sick on the plane if they haven't been on one before. They don't know what that's going to be like. Have you ever had to take that Dramamine or something just to help with motion sickness?
When it comes to flying, no, I have not. But I'm a rarity. Flying for me, this is the craziest thing when we talk about anxiety. And I'm glad we're talking about it because it's mental health. And a lot of times we don't talk enough about that. But there are two places in the world that I am completely at calm and peace, and that is on an airplane. As soon as that door shuts, Tigger, you've noticed most of the time I'm asleep before the plane even takes off. For some reason,
I don't even have anybody to talk to.
I know.
Ridiculous.
I am sleeping, and then the plane is coming down, and that is when I'm waking up. And the other spot that I have no anxiety is on the back of a horse. So it's just each person is different. That's all I'm saying.
Flying
and
is
that's
fun.
okay.
It's
I think
fun.
flying
It's
is
enjoyable.
fun.
It
to
is.
me, it's part of the excitement. And as soon as I get to an airport, I could go from being stressed and crabby and thinking about a million things I got to do for work. But then when I get to the airport, all of a sudden I'm like, yes, I'm going on vacation. I'm going somewhere else, or at least a change of pace. So there you have it. Just try and keep yourself calm, keep traveling, keep planning, and you're going to have a great trip this next year. All right, enough about all this. Let me land the plane on
Oh, I see what you did, Becca.
this. We're going to take a short break, crew. You're listening to The Ben Show.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit CowboyChannelPlus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Watch RFD TV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFD TV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFD TV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. Riding along shotgun is my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, this next topic got brought up to me, and I actually realized it was a great one to talk about. And this individual sent a message in, by the way, Carl, thanks for doing this, wanting to know what are the best souvenirs when you're out and about. Because let's be real, look around your home right now and you're probably thinking, I need to do some spring cleaning and get rid of half of what I have.
Collector plates and spoons, shot glasses,
Those are exactly
pendants.
the items that everyone wants to inherit, right? Someday from somebody. Is that right there? So that had me thinking about this. And you know what? I'm going to tell you from my own experience that a good souvenir doesn't always have to be bought or tangible, okay? So think beyond souvenirs when you hear the word souvenirs, right? So what do souvenirs do? They spark memories. That's what they're supposed to be, right? Maybe a possibility of excitement, something that happened when you look at that spoon thimble or...
Collector plate, shot glass.
Well, how about this instead? All right. Maybe a letter sent from the destination you went. How about a well-kept travel journal, for example? Or maybe something you salvaged or you found on your trip?
You know, we have done this like camping sometimes, or if there's a unique place that we're at, and that is a rock.
Yes. You and I have
If-
gotten into picking up and bringing home. And
If it's something different, yeah.
Yes, a rock to go into our rock garden. And it's just become kind of a cool assortment of all these different rocks of locations that we have gone. And so here are some
Do you
tips.
remember any of those where that rock was from? Do you remember any?
Have you not looked at the bottom side of the rocks?
What's on the bottom side of the rocks?
I wrote where they came from.
Did you really?
You write the date and say a town, a location, something that would
Oh,
signify
be
where we got that rock from. You didn't
buggered.
realize?
No.
Well, there. See?
Genius.
I'm telling
Genius,
you, now
babe.
you found your own memento instead of going and buying that little bobblehead that was made in another country being sold in a country that you're visiting. That's not where that came from. If you could follow me along there.
Unless that's something that somebody would like.
Right.
That's the perfect
That
gift.
is true. The biggest one, I think, is instead of spending money on souvenirs, spend that money experiencing an activity. Now, when I say experience an activity, I'm talking about taking a class like culinary cooking, something like that that you can bring home and use and do again in your own kitchen. So think about that. You took a class, you went to Italy and you learned how to make pasta like they do over there. You come home and you do it again in your own home for your own friends. See, now you just shared that experience. How about this? Maybe you're in a foreign country or another area that's known for making rugs or textiles or something like that. Take a class in it. You're going to learn about their culture and get your hands dirty and probably come home with a memento that you couldn't even buy right off the rack. And lastly, here's a must that I always do. Carry your own postage stamps with you when you travel. Then mail yourself, yes, mail other people too, but mail yourself a postcard from that location. It makes a perfect memento. And besides, that photo on that postcard is probably going to be better than anything you took. Just some ideas to help you while you're traveling so you're not bringing home all that clutter, but yet you're still remembering the great moments. That's all for this week, folks. Thanks again for riding along with us. And remember to keep sending us in your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, or even if you have a recipe you want us to try out. It's still cold outside. I could use another good soup recipe. That number again, call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. And for all you listeners that came along, you know we greatly appreciate you. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me back all week long by following The Ben Show on Facebook and on Instagram @The Ben Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Ben.